Hello, this is Oldmanpoole. I am back for yet another Amonkhet Draft League. We have a spicy rare here with Drakehaven, which I'm probably just going to pick up. Um, it's pretty sweet. I've had the chance to play with it once before, and it did pretty majestic, pretty fantastic things. I also had the chance to play with another one of the cycling payoffs, Faith the Devoted, and it felt a little bit less impressive to me. I think Drakehaven is just one of the better cards for that deck in the set. So we're going to take that and we're going to go hard on cycling and try and make that work. Faith and Vote comes around, we'll probably play it. Honor Crop Captain is notable, and this actually might be a better card than Drakehaven, but it is nowhere near as sweet. And so we're going to pick this up here and try and make the deck work. There's actually a very, very good pack. I like Scaled Behemoth, I like Greater Sandworm. There's a lot going on for sure. But Drakehaven, sweetest, here we come. Okay. So here we have a Vizier of Tumbling Sands, which I think is fine, but not outstanding. And a Naga Oracle and Seeker of Insight and Talk Crop Skirmisher. All of those are playable. They're all fine. I think the Seeker is the one that fits best with the deck. I think the Naga Oracle is probably the best card. I've been very impressed with this. The body is pretty relevant, and the fact that it just kind of fixes your next couple of draws is pretty powerful too. All three of these cards tend to come around late. I think I am going to take the Vizier here. It does cycle, even though it's a little bit on the expensive side. This is a card that I'm not real excited to play very often without cycling. But once in a while, you need a blocker too. I think I'm going to pick that up here. Largely because I think this is less likely to cycle than the other ones. Okay, we have a Shadowstorm Vizier, which we could pick up. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. I'm not sure how good it is. It is a 1/3 flyer for 2, which I think is fine kind of on its own, and it potentially gets through for a fair amount of damage. Your opponent just has to respect this card if you've got any cards in your hand. And I think the blue-black is one of the better cycling sets. I think blue-red can be okay as well, but blue-black I think that's their marquee. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up over the Heckma Sentinels, which I think is, kind of okay, and the Compelling Argument, which I think is fine because it cycles, and this deck wants to cycle. But getting a couple of payoffs early on I think is not bad, too. Okay, here we can take another Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Not wild about illusionary wrappings. I feel like a lot of the time, your opponent's got a number of ways to buff power in the format, and so it ends up... It cuts down on damage, but it's kind of slow, and it doesn't usually just get rid of the creature either. Painful Lesson... yeah, I'll just take another Vizier here. Okay, Seeker of Insight's not a bad pickup, although Wasteland Scorpion Pitiless Vizier would not be either. Some poor soul opened up Hazoret's Favor. I think that's in the running for the worst rare in the set. I think Scorpion I like better than the Seeker of Insight. Seeker is very, very good if you can reliably be discarding things, but you have to be playing spells to be able to activate it. And I feel like they come around pretty late, so I think the pick is actually between the Wasteland Scorpion and Pitiless Vizier. I'm going to take the Scorpion. We have a couple of payoffs now. The Scorpion's a little bit... well, I don't know. It's close. I'm going to take the Scorpion here. That may not be correct. I could kind of see it going either way. I do like Essence Scatter. I think I'll pick that up here. It's a spell which works well with the looter if we end up getting it. It's also nice to be able to loot on my opponent's turn. I would play Ancient Crab. As many people who have watched my stream know, I will definitely play Ancient Crab. See, I think my problem with this format is actually secretly a pretty aggressive format. Like kind of a mid-range aggressive, but you want to be beating down. But there's all these wonderful cards that just lying around. They're like, ooh, pick me, you can do some sweet value thing, and I just can't resist. And so I inevitably get beaten down while I'm trying to do something sweet. But, that having been said, we're rewarded with the Shadowstorm Vizier. We'll pick that up and not be sad. This is a pretty good start to the deck. 3 pretty good, well, 2 reasonable payoffs and 1 really good payoff. A couple of cyclers. I do like Scribe to the Mindful. I think Wasteland Scorpion's better. Ooh, well, we got the Faith of the Devoted back, so I'm pretty sure we've just got to pick that up. Wonder and Death, I think, is playable. I like the Skirmisher too, although we actually have a couple of pretty reasonable 2-drop blockers already, so that makes the Skirmisher a little bit less appealing. We'll pick up Faith of the Devoted here. Okay, well, I definitely think the cycling deck is open. If that wheeled around, nobody else is willing to try for it. And it might be this deck is just, or this card is not actually that fantastic. I always look at it, I'm like, this card is sweet, but I haven't really seen anyone go off with it yet, so I may just be overrating it. Picking up a Seeker's good, though. Stuff's happening. I like how low our curve is, too, at this point. Lets us play lots and lots of cycling stuff early. Sentinels are Unburden. Still not wild about Sentinels. Although it's kind of a fine blocker, too. Maybe I underestimate this card. I feel like it comes around late with Unburden, though. I think I'll probably get my chance at more of both of these cards. I think I'm going to take the Unburden. Works marginally better with the Seeker of Insight, and is a cycler for a deck that wants cyclers. Yeah, I think this is more 3-drops than I've ever picked in a first pack of a draft. Like, we already have 8, and pretty much all of them were okay just playing. Yeah. Just straight up playing on turn 3 as well. Sure Shot is the best card in the back. I don't know. I'm surprised this card comes as late as it is. It doesn't have a whole lot of synergy, which is fair. Let's see. Now I want a Pretty Mountain. Who was I kidding? Pretty Lands over anything else. Dread Wanderer. Okay. I don't think this card really fits well in our deck, but it is kind of cool if you got a bunch sacrifice sub-theme going on. Stir of the Sands is just fantastic, though. It's also not a 2 or 3 drop, which, like, some part of me deep down kind of appreciates. But Stir of the Sands is fantastic at 6 and pretty good to cycle as well. Shimmer Scale Drake, Pitiless Vizier, cancel. All cards I'd play. I'd play Scribe too. But Stir is good. Worthy of a first pick. So I'd love to pick up a couple more counter spells and definitely a bunch more cyclers. Oh, another Drake Haven. What? We're doing it, boys. That we can't lose at this point. If we lose with 2 Drake Havens, it means the deck is just bad. So, well, I guess we'll find out if the deck is just bad. But we're going all the way. Not even close. Not even close. Compelling Argument starts looking pretty good here. I think it's better than the Heckma Sentinels. Anything that cycles for 1 is starting to look pretty good. Because that is only ever going to be cycled. Do we want another Seeker here? How many spells do we have? Stir the Sands, couple Drake Havens, Faith, Painful Lesson, handful. Do we want Seeker or Vizier? Kind of like having one more Vizier threat. This card's really, really good on defense, really good on offense, just kind of hard for your opponent to deal with, period. I think we're going to take one more of those. I've definitely had games where I have too many Seekers of Insight, and I just kind of feel sad. I think I'm going to take Wander and Death over Open into Wonder. Is that just a mistake? Open into Wonder is really, really high power level, but this is not really a deck that super wants to take advantage of it. We're killing my opponent with Flyers, which are already kind of evasive, and like the Faith of the Devoted. So I think cycling is better. Ooh, I don't know. This card is super high upside and super low side. Like, this card can just straight up win the game sometimes, and it also feels really, really bad if it's stuck in your hand. You're getting beat down, and you just can't afford to attack anyway. Like, it's a bad cycling card at that point. I think I'm going to take the Wander and Death. I'm sure there will be people that disagree with that pick, though. Do you like Horror with Broken Lands? You can pick that up. Another good cheap cycler, and a pretty big threat late game as well. Curse Minotaur is fine. I'm not sure it actually makes the cut in this deck, but it is fine. It is definitely better than Trespasser's Curse. Nothing else here is getting played. Actually, I'm going to try this in the sideboard. I think this card is not bad, but I don't know if it's what we want. Probably take Floodwaters here over cancel. I do like the Doomed Center. I like Splendid Agony. Maybe we just want the Agony because we want some way to interact with our opponent. We have literally no removal right now. We're hopefully just able to jump with Drake Havens and and Splendid Agony kind of wins combats, but it doesn't actually kill bombs either. I think I like the flooded waters a little bit better. We gotta pick up cycling things to make the cycling deck work after all. I'd still take something like the final reward, the Black Exile card, for some like undeniable removal, but the 2-1/1 counters is not super impressive to me when we have a whole bunch of cards that are kind of hard to attack into anyway. Wasteland Scorpions, Vizier. Another Pitiless Vizier over a Scribe. Scribe does get back a cycling effect. We're a little bit low on now. We kind of have a lot of I guess we're not doing terrible either. I was gonna say we have a lot of payoffs and not a ton of cyclers, but we have a reasonable amount of cyclers still. I think I'm gonna take the Vizier still over the Scribe. I don't think Scarab Feast is realistically something that we play, but maybe just the cycling's good. I don't think Cursed Minotaurs fits into the synergy of the deck, so maybe just Scarab Feast is okay. I mean, it cycles for one. We're playing Compelling Argument for the same reason. Sure, Scarab Feast it is. That'll be my first time main decking that card. Not wild about Bontu's Monument. Guess we take Painted Bluffs. On the off chance there's something super bomby we want to splash. I'm not really sure what that would be at this point. Sure. It's kind of funny this card doesn't have cycling. In a set that's just full of cycling cards, this one feels like it should have it, but it does not, and it suffers for it. So coming out of our pack 2 here, I feel like our deck looks pretty reasonable. Still trying to pick up a couple more like good cyclers. I'd be happy picking up a couple more Horror of the Broken Lands, a couple of the River Serpent, is that what it's called? Something like that. Would be pretty good. I do think Neheb is pretty fantastic, although this is not the deck for him, unfortunately. Do we just want to take a final reward? We have next to no removal right now, so that might be kind of nice to draw towards. And don't really want another Vizier of Tumbling Sands, although I would play it if we got it. I do like the Naga Oracle a lot, but I think the final reward is just the pick here. Neheb's cool though. Hope someone makes a sweet Minotaur deck out of him. What a cool looking card. Like super, super creepy, but what a cool looking card. Okay, here we have Horror of the Broken Lands. I don't think it's real close. I'm actually not even sure if this deck would play Ancient Crab, given how defensive we've got going anyway. Skirmisher's fine, and Cancel's fine too, but Horror I think is head and shoulders above. We would play another couple of these probably. I think this is a really good payout for the cycling deck, and it cycles, so it just fits very, very well. Here we have... Don't really like another Painful Lesson. We could play the Trial of Ambition. Against some decks, this is going to be pretty good. Against some decks, it's going to be terrible, but it is kind of removal. We could take an Evolving Wilds, although there's nothing we're real excited to splash right now. Taking Illusionary Wrappings. I guess I'll take Trial of Ambition. It's probably main deck. It's close, though. I do like Baleful Omet a fair amount. I think Horror is better. At least in this deck. I can see taking the Omet sometimes, but Horror just is really what makes this deck sing, I think. Of course, it's probably singing in a really creepy, like, demonic sort of way, but singing nonetheless. Plus, I just got a great image of one of these guys riding on top of a Drake, and I'm not really sure that you need anything beyond that. This deck is sweet. I'm kind of pumped, actually. We got a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, if this version of Drake Haven deck is not good, I don't think the deck is good. So, we have a multitude of good payoffs, a multitude of cyclers. Don't think New Perspectives is good. I don't know. I guess maybe no. It's just a dream. It's a pipe dream to get to 7 or more cards in hand. I think we're just gonna take Essence Scatter. We're gonna be realistic here. Ooh, or just Scarab Feast. Scarab Feast isn't a recycler. Maybe we're okay with just the 1 Essence Scatter. I think this pick is not even close most of the time, but we have so many things to deal with cycling. 1-cost cycling is just going to be great, I think. Scarab Feast it is. Compelling argument, same rationale. We want all the cycling cards we can get. Don't think Painful Lesson's making the cut right now. I think those all do. We maybe cut... Oh, we put Compelling Argument over there now. We maybe cut Trial of Ambition. This is like maybe a really good sideboard card. Okay. Don't really like Kefnet's Monument. Probably take a Cradle of the Accursed over a Talkrop Skirmisher. Maybe we want another Skirmisher for really, really aggressive opponents. Because there are going to be times where we'll cycle a bunch, but even though the deck has like a really, really powerful engine going on, it's just too slow. And maybe Cradle doesn't do that much. We're okay getting rid of a couple of lands and cycling through. So yeah, maybe the Skirmisher is actually better to try and help shore us up against aggressive matchups. I do like the Cradle of the Accursed, but it doesn't help us if we're really getting beaten down. It's a value card. It's not a efficient tempo card. Don't really like Slitterblade. Activate abilities, creature cards in your graveyard cost 1 less to activate. Tap an untapped zombie control. Balmer's Tools. I saw someone play this with Approach of the Second Sun and a bunch of zombies, and they just build themselves to get to approach. That was kind of sweet, but it is not something we're doing. Guess we take Slitherblade. Maybe if my opponent's playing lots of 1 toughness stuff. I don't know. I don't think that gets played. Oh, Neheb came around. True Tragedy. That is a cool deck. It's a shame that he's not going to get utilized very well. Wandering Death is fine, though. Let's just get back our horrors late game, and before that it cycles. So I think this deck is sweet. If we don't run into aggressive opponents, I think we just straight up win. If we do run into really aggressive opponents, we still probably lose, but that's okay. Another Talkrop's not bad to shore us up, though. I do think this card is a pretty good sideboard card against aggressive opponents. What are we cutting here? Probably not going to play 2 Wandering Deaths. Do like the Pitiless Vizier. Love the Horrors. I guess we take a... do another 2-drop. Maybe we want another 2-drop over the Wrappings. I think we have a lot of other things that we're happy to play on turn 2. Or on turn 3, rather. All of the really good aggressive cards have Exert anyway, and the Wrappings don't work super well against that. Ooh, Secret of Insight's a good pickup. I would play another one of those for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Renewed Faith. Oh, we should have taken the Fancy Land. What was I thinking? The punt. The punt. It's okay, we got rewarded. A couple more there. Okay. So let's see. It's almost worth looking at cards based on their cycling cost. I think Trial of Ambition is going to start on the sideboard. How many things do we want to actually cast with Secret of Insight? Drake Havens, it gets going. Faith the Devoted. Wandering Death's fine. Unburden's fine. Final Reward. We have a decent amount. Floodwater, Stir the Sands. It's funny because this card kind of doesn't turn on until a little bit later in the game a lot of the time. Early on, you're playing creature spells just to not die, but I think it's probably still okay. And we'll move down some Wasteland Scorpions. The Viziers, I think, will be cycled a fair amount of the time, but not always. I think we were really lucky to pick up 2 more Horrors in the last pack. That was pretty good for us. Okay. I do think this deck looks sweet. I wonder if we get away with playing 16 lands. Is that super greedy? Might be. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that cycle for 1. I think we can get away with playing 16 here. I'll cut down a little bit on late game Flood, and we can let us cycle into cycle into cycle. Although getting a lot of mana isn't bad for Drakehaven and for Faith the Devoted for sure. But yeah, I think we can afford to, just because there's so many cycling cards. Wonder what we cut here. How many cyclers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's a good number. I like that number. Maybe cut a Seeker. Bring that in against more aggressive things. How many non-creature spells do we reliably want to cast? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a bunch of cycling things that may end up getting cast. Yeah, I don't think Secret of Insight's at its best in this deck. It's not bad, though. Not bad. We make one more cut. Maybe Wandering Death or Unburdened. I like Floodwaters quite a bit. I think I like all of our creatures. I guess maybe we can consider cutting the other Seeker. That feels pretty greedy if we're against a really aggressive opponent, though. But I guess that might still be correct. And maybe we cut... Again, we have so much late game effects. Maybe we cut the Unburden or the Wandering Death, because they're less good against aggressive matchups, too. If he plays a 2-drop and a 3-drop and we Unburden him, he still hits us for like 5 or 6. So that's pretty bad. Maybe we cut that. Okay. I think we want to go heavier on black than on blue. Largely because we have so many black cycling cards that cost 1. Yeah, I think I'm gonna... Yeah. MTGO likes 9-7. I think I like 9-7 too. Okay, this deck is sweet. I'm excited. Let's go into match 1. Hope we don't get run over. If we don't get run over, we're gonna have lots of fun.